Okay, welcome to another edition of the Above the Bridge podcast. I'm your host, Thaddeus Park. If this is your first time checking us out, please like, subscribe, leave a comment on our YouTube channel or on any of our podcast platforms. It matters, and I appreciate you tuning in. First thing I want to do is shout out our sponsors. First up, we have Defend Hawaii, and they have some new stuff coming out. Go check them out at Windward Mall. They have a store called No One. Also, go to their website, defendhawaii.com. And if you use promo code ATBPod upon checkout, you'll get 15% off your entire purchase order. Next, we have IREP Detail Supply, and they're your one-stop shop superstore for anything you need to detail any of your vehicles. They have a store in Temple Valley Shopping Center. They also have one in Las Vegas. If you go to their website, irepdetailsupply.com, if you use promo code ATBPod upon checkout, you'll receive 15% off your entire purchase order as well. Next, we have our Hawaii Medicinal Mushroom Company, and they're our locally based medicinal mushroom company. And right now, they have four tinctures of extracted mushrooms. They're Medicinal Mushrooms Hawaii, and they have the lion's mane, chaga, turkey tail, and red reishi. And each one of these mushrooms have a medicinal property and does wonders for your body. I take all four religiously every single day. I take the first three in the morning with my cup of coffee, and I take the chaga at night because it helps me sleep like a champ. But go to their website, medmushroomhigh.com. If you use promo code ATBPod upon checkout, all capitals, you'll get 45% off your first tincture of extracted mushroom. Aloha. Okay, this week my guest is somebody I had on my second all-time episode ever. When I first started, and I always said I wanted to have him back on, and he's one of my closest friends. He owns environmental roofing solutions. He also was one of the founding members of the boy band group BBC, Hobo House on the Hill Records, and of course, Artist Groove Network. And everybody knows him as Ronnie, and I know him as my brother. What's up, Ronnie?
What's up, Dad?
Bruh, did you know that you were my second guest on my show, and I've been doing it for almost 5 years?
Yeah, I remember you telling me it was,
Yeah.
oh, wait, 5 years went by so fast.
Yep. This is gonna be the 141st or 42nd episode.
That's how fast we're getting older.
Oh yeah, bro. We are definitely not spring chickens anymore. Do you feel your age or no?
It was kind of funny. I was reading, Lanai. He,
Yeah.
he posted something and I was laughing. It said, I'm at the age where I'm old, I'm young to the old people, the older people,
Yeah.
and I'm old to the younger people.
Okay, that makes sense. We
Yeah.
look younger than what we really are, and I know for me my age was a sensitive topic because I always want to be young, and I'm always trying to I act like when little kids do it. You know what I mean? Like so my appearance is or was it more important that I look young, but as I'm getting older, I kind of don't care and I kind of embrace it more. And I definitely feel more healthier and more alive than I did when I was younger, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's funny. You always watch. You're gonna remember this now. Everybody uses this terminology so loosely, and it's hilarious. Um, you know, for the first time in history, or there's the latest fight. It's the baddest fight in history, and they've been saying that when Sugar Ray Leonard won fight um Hearns or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like so we, at this age, I even say that, like, oh yeah, I feel healthier than ever. But it's like, really? when I was 20. I'm sure I said the same thing and I felt healthier than ever.
Yeah. Was that recency bias, I guess? I mean,
And and the reason why we do that is because we live in the now.
yeah.
We live in the now. So everything is happening right now.
Or like, or you're denying the fact that your best years is behind us, and you say, I'm the healthiest I've ever been, because in reality, the healthiest I've ever been was when I was training and competing. But yeah, like as of like maybe like the last 15, 16 years, I've been taking my health a lot more serious. I did the Spartan race, which was a bucket list thing for me, which almost killed me, but I made it through. But because of that, it motivated me to get in better shape, do more for my body and health. And I was talking to you and Frank today about changing up my diet, and I want to look a little better for when I get married.
Dad, can you hear my little Frenchies right there?
Oh yeah. I didn't know you had two of them.
I got two now.
Yeah.
But yeah, good that's good that you what made you want to change your diet?
I wanted to change my diet honestly because I felt like I was getting in a point of my life where I was using food and bad habits like sugar and sweets and that kind of stuff as a like a crutch. Like I'm trying to not drink as much and stuff like that, but then I find myself eating more candies, and because I have a daughter, she brings home a lot of snacks, and brah, I've been just pounding. And then sugar, the older I get, like the more sweets and junk food I eat, the more it affects me the next day. Like my hands are swollen, or like my face looks puffy, and I'm like, well, if the food that I'm eating is making my me feel and look that way, then I gotta change it up. You know what I mean? Like I know it works for you because seeing you after you dieted a few times, like it is you not like that you were in bad shape or anything, but your complexion and your stature kind of changed a little bit.
It was interesting. Um, I would always eat at Aloha Salads, right? And you thinking that fish was better for you or vegetables. Everybody think vegetables,
Yeah.
and never changed. I will always wait about, but I'll stay in between. I always was between 150 and 158. Never got to 160, but I was always in between that. And no matter what I did, I would stay in that 150. And I just changed to eating what I eat now. I'm at high school weight, like 137, 138
What?
pounds.
Oh, wow. But see, it doesn't, you don't look like you've lost weight, or like you don't look like all frail and stuff. You
Oh,
look
no,
stronger.
no.
Like you look
Yeah,
stronger.
it was funny because when I went to do an estimate the other day, the lady came out and she was like, "Oh, you must really work out." And I said, "Not really." And she said, I do some push-ups. I do push-ups and stuff, but that's about it. I don't really work out. But I do push-ups and I have this is weird. I have dumbbells in my bathroom. And whenever I go to the bathroom, I do like 20, 25s. I do 20. And then when I go back in again, even if I'm going to brush my teeth, I do 20.
Oh,
And so whenever I go into the bathroom, there's always 20. Wait, hold on. I got to turn off that oven. Hold on.
no worries.
But yeah, I have dumbbells in my bathroom and
So if you take a long dump, that's like a good workout for you then.
20, I got 20 reps. It's always 20.
Okay, that's something, bro. And like I said, I've wanted to change some stuff up, and seeing you and talking to Frank, and actually was praying about it, and I was explaining this to Frank today. I was asking God to help me um put into perspective how what changes I need to do, and for multiple. spots in the last couple months that carnivore diet kept popping up. And I realized like, okay, maybe this is God trying to steer me in that direction, and I gotta kind of listen to the signs that okay, maybe this is something I should try. And the last one I was in the sauna, and one of the guys that he was all shredded, and he started talking to me about his carnivore diet. And I'm like, okay, well, I think maybe I should try it. And I talked to you and Frankie about it. I started it maybe like a couple of days. I already dropped 3 pounds. Um, but I feel different already, and it's only been like 3, 4 days. And I don't know, maybe you guys are onto something, but you definitely got in my head about trying it out.
Well, I did it mainly for this reason. Um, I was I was a gymnast when I was young, and I used to like run on the concrete, do like a front flip, step out, round off, back and spring, back layout on the road, like nothing, all the time. Um, and but it caught up to me.
Oh yeah.
So I could feel as I got older, I felt I felt like I got arthritis, and arthritis is inflammation. And I
Yeah.
also have the worst allergies you could ever imagine. Like I never ever knew what it was to breathe through both of my nose. It just I'm always stuffy. I'm always puffy eyed, and it's all inflammation. So I did it because my arthritis was getting really bad, and I was starting to get psoriasis, believe it or not.
The
And
skin stuff.
yes, and then when I went to see doctors and stuff, they prescribed me things, and I don't know, I just didn't feel that trim fire. I just knew something was wrong with it, and I said, nope, I'm not going to do it. And then I heard about people having arthritis and psoriasis, and they did the carnivore. So I tried it for myself, and gone, vanished. Zero arthritis, zero inflammation. I can breathe through my nose. I don't have any allergies, no stuffy eyes, adult acne, everything just gone, gone, gone. I'm down to my high school weight, um, way more energy. I really do believe that the sauna is also phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm like my veins, like man, my veins is like crazy. Um, Seriously, I'm like, it's kind of scary sometimes, but I mean, I think the sauna is phenomenal for your cardiovascular. I don't think I actually there's a study on it that said it's up to 52% less chance of getting a heart attack and a stroke.
Yeah.
And so I decided to do that, but my skin got super good. My my arteries. So this is what's funny. My doctor actually said, "Oh, Ron, you look good, but you can probably die." That's exactly what he told me. And I said, "Why?" Because you're only eating meat. So he sent me to a specialist to go. You have to sit inside and scan your heart and your veins, I guess, for plaque, um,
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever. And so I did it. You got to go in that big X-ray thing. And I went back to see him, and he said, I just asked him, so what did you guys find? And he says it quietly, like, your heart is better than most people. And I was like, and what? And what? And he's like, and I told him, I said, Doc, all the stuff was prescribed in me never worked. I went, now I don't have no psoriasis, no arthritis. And he told me, that's weird. And I said, why? Because you can't prescribe me drugs.
He's right, bruh. I mean, back in the day, nobody had drugs, but then nobody had all these stupid ass ailments that plague society now because all the preservatives and all the crap we eat.
Well, it's all what we eat, period.
Yeah.
That's it. But then again, I have to be careful as I'm getting older, um, to say that everybody's different. Yeah, everybody
Yeah.
is different, and you gotta try it for yourself. Different things, and you see what your body like. For instance, so I went. I mean, people freak out like, really, Ronnie? you only eat meat. I'm like, yep. What do you eat for breakfast? I said, I don't eat breakfast. But if I eat meat. And even when I go to order food, it's so funny because people get so, I mean, it's so simple. And I just get so thrown off. I go to the steak place and I say, I'll just get steak. Oh, what about rice or vegetables? Oh no, just give me the steak. Oh, we don't sell it that way. I'm like, just charge me the price for the plate then, but just give me the steak. You know, they don't even know how to adjust. I'm like, wow.
I know. I'm sorry
Really,
to
really, we can give you more rice, we can give you more vegetables. I'm like, no,
give me
just
more steak then.
we're not gonna give you more steak.
Yeah. That's cool, but yeah, just from your example motivated me to try it out. And bruh, like I'm getting married in a few months and I want to be look my best and feel my best when that happens. I was just thinking about when you got married, and that was one of the best weddings I've ever been to, bar none. It was so cool. It was just what you and your wife, me, Peter, your brother Lawrence, and the pastor, right, was there.
Brittany, I don't think Lawrence was
Oh
there. It was
yeah,
Brittany.
no, Lawrence was there too, I think. Yes, he had to have been there because we need dinner with him after.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, yep,
You know, it was probably because it was absolutely not planned. It
yeah.
was a free flowing. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. It
But
was pretty.
to me, what I loved about it the most, it wasn't about and because I'm planning, or my wife to be is planning this big freaking thing. I appreciated the fact that your wedding was about you and Shan. It was about the love that you guys shared for each other. It wasn't about putting that on for display. It was about the moment that you guys proclaim your love for each other for the rest of your guys' life in front of like us and whoever our little group was. But it wasn't about that. It was about you and her and that moment. And for me, that's what a wedding is about. That's what marriage isn't about. And it was so real. Like it wasn't a show for me. I wasn't watching a big production. It was I was watching love at its
Genuine.
raw.
It
Yeah.
was genuine. You know,
Yeah.
it's really cool. I asked Shannon, um, I said, I literally said, do you want like a big ring and a big wedding, or you ready to get on a house? And she said, house. I said, okay. Simple. It's very simple. We even did that when our children were 1 year old. We talked about that. We always here's a really, really cool thing. I was actually speaking to Frank about this today, and I always talk to my son Echo at playing at the highest level of soccer. It's always, and even life itself, it always comes down to decision making. That's it. Decision making. What is the difference between on champion and everybody else? The champions make great decisions. And when something is wrong, they adjust, and they adjust quickly, and they're resilient. So when one thing I can say that I know, I don't think, oh, you can hear my dog, sorry.
Yeah. No worries.
Right. I know that the most important thing, more than as far as the marriage, yeah, it's about being genuinely partners. Like, we all have this idea about marriage, okay? But it's a lot of work, period.
Yeah.
But the person you're getting married to, okay, has to be your partner. Have to be. They have to add value, and you have to add value to them. They have to add value to you, or it's not gonna last. Period. Because the first thing that go is attraction and physical. You know, you guys have to be like a team. that constantly growing together. So me and Shannon, we would do these things. Like I would discuss with her, like seriously, and she would say, "House." I said, "Okay, I'll make a plan. We're gonna own a house in 1 year, and this is how we're gonna do it." It was super cool, you know. And I literally would tell her, if you don't mind me sharing with you,
Yeah. No, I want to hear it.
was very simple. I said, "Okay, so you're gonna put this much. I'm gonna go and we're gonna go make this much money, and you're going to deposit this much in the bank every single week." And let me get the bowl for my dog.
Yeah. Going.
So we had a plan. You gotta have a plan. You gotta have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. It's the truth.
Yep.
So, and you gotta write it down. Don't be telling me, "Oh yeah, I got one." Where is it? In my head. In your head. If you close your eyes when if you have something in your head, and you see black, right? That's space. You know how big the universe is? Your idea is in space. It's everywhere and nowhere in particular. Okay?
Yep.
It's nowhere. You have to put it down on a sheet of paper because then now it's in physical earth. Okay? Where we
Makes
live.
sense. Yep.
Okay? Where we live. And then you have to get up in the morning. You have to read that goal, that plan in the morning as soon as you get up. So guess what? When you get up and you read that plan, your day is gonna be like about that plan. Your decision's gonna be made based upon your plan. Like, "Oh, let's go do this, Ron. Sorry, I can't. I gotta do this because I know my plan. I know my goal." So by having a plan, you know what you can and cannot do. Okay? I don't know if you heard this, but it always resonated with me, and I always said I feel the same way. Steve Jobs said he is just as much as people praised him for like the iPod, the iPhone, it's the decisions that he decided not to do that is the reason why he was able to create what he did. Because there's a lot of distraction. You understand? There's
Yes.
so much people coming up with good ideas, especially if you get to a certain level. Everybody has ideas. Everybody wants your time. But it's being able to say, "No, I cannot do that. I'm sorry. I know you're hurt, but I cannot do that." Because you're so focused on what you gotta do. You cannot get done what you need to get done if you allow all the distraction.
Yeah.
So you gotta have a plan. And I gotta admit, Shannon and I have been very good at coming up with a plan and sticking to it together.
Well, I feel like with you guys two personally, you guys are the perfect yin yang. Your your personalities balance each other out. And Shan can keep you in check too also. I think those two things are like the biggest thing. And
She keeps me
watching,
from throwing away.
yeah, exactly. But you guys balance each other out perfect. She's more structured and stable. You're more in the moment, doing things on the fly at any given moment. So as the circle goes, you guys balance. It's not off tilt. You know what I mean? And watching you guys parent is one of the biggest, hugest impressions that been it for me as a parent, because I see how you guys treat your kids and the avenues of success that they're experiencing is because of the sacrifices you guys are doing, and also because of how you guys are doing it. And talking to your kids, and I got to see Echo. I see him every now and then, but I got to see him recently, and bruh, they are they are a perfect mixture of you and Shan. It's crazy to see.
I actually, you know, I actually had this conversation with Shannon because it, as far as Echo and Uriah, um uh I was kind of they're both like really, really driven. Uriah is more like me, where he's more confident and just he's self-motivated. He doesn't even need me. Like he just goes and makes plans and he's just like on fire. And I watch him, I'm like, wow, wow. Like it just blows my mind. And then you get Echo, who is more silent, very he's confident, but very silent. He'll never compare himself to other people. He doesn't have to talk, whereas Uriah is very confident. He'll say things, you know. And it's kind of interesting, and both super focused. It's and I asked Shannon, you think it's because of us? You know, I mean,
Guarantee.
100% got to be. It has to be them. It has to be them. But I'm sure by being raised by Shannon and I, it plays a role. You know.
Big time. And the like talking to Uriah, especially the last couple times, and I told him too because he's all into volleyball and he's explaining to me like the difference, how his life is changing because of it. And I looked at him and I said, "Oh, you found your passion." And he said, "Yeah, it took a while, but I did. I found my passion." And once he had the bullseye, now he can laser focus. And like you said, he's very confident and he has a plan. Like he's telling me like, "Oh, I'm looking at these colleges. I'm doing this with this website and I'm doing this so that." And I was like, "Brah, he just started playing volleyball like what, a couple years ago and he realized how good he was at it and now he found his passion for it and now he's creating his own avenues and paths to take his volleyball to the next level." But it reminded me a lot of you and that way he was strong about what his decisions were going to be. And that's just like how you are with anything I've known you to be about. When you made a decision, this is what's going to happen.
I mean, it's very interesting because the difference between Uriah and Echo, and by the way, Brittany, you know Brittany, right?
Yeah, yeah.
She's she in her own right is very like they all amaze me personally. But as far as what I was saying with Echo would be like from 5 years old, it was only soccer. He never grew up as a normal child. He would miss birthdays or he would skip going to the beach and he would just want to practice and he would just want to do that. So very, very, very rare. Uriah, he whatever he gets in, he kind of reminds me of me. Whatever he gets into, like if it's collecting sports cards or when he was young, he was into collecting dinosaurs, right? Or
Yeah.
fidget spinners.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
here's when he jumps around. He jumps around, which is totally perfect. That's life, you know. You should encourage your kids to just do what they feel like doing. They don't have to
Yeah.
be stuck to one thing.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
yeah, it's perfect just the way it is. Just support them and whatever it is. Don't even have to be sports. Could be
Yep.
spelling.
Yep. Trust me, bro. My daughter's all into anime. She got sword hanging up above her freaking room. She has all these books, and then now she's like could care less about it. And fortunately, she was dancing. We used to take her and do all that stuff, but she never found her passion until just like Uriah was volleyball. And once she found that passion, everything changed, bro. I've never seen my daughter like this. I knew
Wow.
she she wanted something to be passionate about. She just never found it. And once like with Uriah found the target, now she's just aiming at that target and doing whatever she can. And it's cool to see. And for me as a dad, I love to watch it. Like people ask me like, "Oh, what do you like to do for fun?" Watch my daughter play volleyball because I'm
Right,
watching her do something that she loves. And that's
right.
what I love is to watch my kid do something she loves. That's what I love to do.
But back to that, now that you brought that up, back to that, like what you just said. But even they don't have to be like, for instance, I still remember when Brittany actually had a conversation with me and she said, Dad, I'm not like you. Like, and I asked her, are you happy? She said, yes. I said, then that's it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be a go-getter. You want to create whatever you think is ultra success. Success is you living a life that you're happy, you
Yeah.
know?
That's
Like
true.
that's another thing that people emphasize so much on that you think you have to do something, living. What do you do for what do you do for a living?
Yeah.
I live.
But you gotta admit, like both you and myself don't have normal lives. Like we don't do the 9 to 5 our whole life, and we never punch one time clock. Like we've not. Well, I guess in other people's eyes, it's not normal. To us, it's normal. You know what I mean? Like we're a different kind of success or a different kind of life living. We're not the cookie cutter. I'm gonna go college. I'm gonna go get a job. I'm gonna raise a family, and I'm gonna go to work every day. Is We're not like that. And I think if you look at all our friends that we're close with, none of us are like that. It's kind
But
of weird.
normal is different for everybody. Everybody has
Yeah, yeah,
what they think normal is, yeah.
yeah.
I
But
mean,
I feel like that's what connects us all. We're we're this different but the same. Where we're not we're we're how do you
energy.
say it? Yeah, and that energy attracted us to each other. Like how the hell I started cruising with you or Frankie and Peter and like all of our friends, and we all are not normal in the eyes of other people. You know what I mean? We're not normal. We don't go 9 to 5. We don't do this. Like we're always trying to do something. You know what I mean? Like or leveling up or not just a normal. Not saying it's bad or anything. I just feel like that energy attracted us to each other, and that's why we're always around it. If that makes sense. It's like you and Peter, right? Your guys' energy attracted to each other at an early age, and it's because you guys had that same kind of energy. Plus, you guys are dancing or whatever. But I feel like all of us are not the same, and we're all attracted to our friends because we're all not the same, and we're not
Right.
like
I
normal
mean,
people, I guess.
everybody is unique and again, like I said, every normal is different for everybody, yeah. There's a
Yeah,
different everybody has a different reality. There's not
yeah,
one reality. When people say, oh, come back to reality. But there's so many different realities.
yeah,
Everybody has a different reality. And that's the one thing as I'm getting older, um, I come to understand. Like when you watch this political climate that's happening right now, it's
yeah,
so hilarious that everybody is so bipolar or so different. We just have to realize that we all are different. And,
yeah.
you might see something somewhere and somebody else sees something somewhere else. And accept it. We different. We're not all the same, and nor should we expect people to think exactly the way that we think. I mean, believe me, I did for the longest time, and that's a that's a appetite for destruction because everybody's unique in their own way,
Yeah.
and they can feel
But
the way they want to feel, and it's not our duty to try to convince them. If you believe in a certain type of religion, good for you. you
yeah,
know and, but if somebody else believes in a different type of religion, good for them. Who are we to try to convince them to believe our way? But we try to do that. We're
exactly.
human. you
Yeah.
know as you get older, you realize that that's what makes the universe amazing, is that there's so many different flavors.
I agree. And I always think like okay, think about this. I don't know if you ever do, But if you were to rewind your life and look back and all those life experiences that you had, that's kind of like a less than a 1%. Like you were in a boy band group that was huge. You started your own nightclub. You were part of a biggest nightclub promotion company. You had your own record label. You running a your roofing company. You're like the things you've done and accomplished isn't like what a lot of people like not many people had your life experiences. And I think about that with my own life. Like I love the things that I've done and I'm proud of the things that I've done, and I realize like not many people can say they did what I did. Not that I'm comparing myself to them, but it just makes me appreciate that my life isn't kind of like what the normal society's life is like, if that makes sense. You ever think about all the things you've done and be like, holy
But then
shit, I did a lot
again,
of crazy shit.
but I'll say it, then again, uh, you know, there's nothing wrong with that too.
Yeah,
Back to
there's
my
nothing wrong with
daughter
it.
told
Yeah.
me. Like some people, if you think about it, okay, you go to work and if you enjoy what you do, and you can leave your job at work, and then you can go home. You can maybe watch a Netflix. You can maybe go do something, less stress. Because
Yeah.
I will say that yes, I did a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm still doing.
Yep.
There's a lot of stress to it.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
definitely. Yeah.
Like, so, people, other people may see um, success in stature or whatever you want to say, but there's also a lot of stress to it. And so maybe that's successful to them. Just living
Stress free.
yeah, and happy life. What's wrong with that? I always fight with myself. I fight with myself about that all the time. Like, what if I do that, do this?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, say you can retire, like, then what? You can start
Yeah, but
something else,
I
bro.
think I think the word retire is man-made, like everything else. Everything's man-made, like time. I'll throw you
Yeah.
off. I'll throw you off into it. There's no such thing as time. There's no such thing as time. Time is an instrument like a tape measure, like you use a tape measure so you can measure that this frame is going to be 10 inches or 24 inches by 24 inches. And time is the same thing. That's just a man-made thing. So I can say, hey, Thaddeus, meet me at 5 o'clock. But really, what is that? It's just the sun is always shining.
Yeah.
Okay. So the only reason why we don't see it is because the earth spins, right? But
Yeah.
that sun is still shining. It's the same day. That's
Yeah.
why it's called, that's why it's called the eternal moment. There is no time. It's just now. You just got now.
Yeah, you're right. And I definitely known you to live for now. And that's something you definitely taught me. And I learned a lot from you, like working with you back in the day with Artist Groove, and just talking to you and watching you build your business and how you are with your family. I learned a lot from you, and the positive energy you always have is something I need to kind of keep more in my life. Like I've never seen you, well, I've seen you mad before, but I never seen you mad that long. And you always find a way to put a positive spin on things. And
Can I share something about positive?
yeah.
My Frenchies over there, they're going crazy. But this might sound weird, but I think always thinking positive is fake. I do.
Why is
It's
that?
it's it's not real. Because it's you don't try to be positive. I gotta focus on it's fake. Positivity is like an impulse. It comes from within. Like you don't try to think positive. You just are positive or you're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just what it is. That's and the way and but you got to understand that you're going to be negative, and nothing wrong with that, because how are you going to know what positive is unless you know what negative is? How are you going to know what daytime is if you don't know what nighttime is? So trying to think positive is not going to last. It's fake.
Yeah.
Not
That
going to
makes
last.
sense.
You're going, you have to, you just going to be positive in your action. And you're going to get times that you're going to be negative, and then you can, it's if you want to sit there. Do you want to sit in your shit and be negative? Up to you. Go for it. And then when it's time and you're done pouting and sitting in your shit, you just get up and you start moving forward. It's That's how I always feel, because I do hear people always saying, "Oh yeah, think positive." This, but it's fake. You
That makes
just
sense. Yeah.
you just you it or you're not.
See, that's the thing, bro. I don't know if you remember, which kind of stuck with me forever. And when you first invited me to be part of Artist Group Network, one day I asked you because I knew and I've seen it, and I never asked you to be part of your company. I seen a lot of people want to, and I seen a lot of people like was trying to be part of it, but I never asked. And I asked you one day, and I said, "Bruh, out of everybody that's been around these stupid clubs and trying to be part of your stuff, why did you pick me?" And that's exactly what you said. It's like because it just is, and that always stuck with me. It was like nothing I could have said or told you to like, "Hey, Ronnie, I like be part of Artist Group Network or whatever." Like you picked me, and I didn't understand why at first because I was just like, "Fuck, I'm just whatever." And then you like, "Oh, because you're the right guy. It's just is." And I was like, "Well,
Because you
that
just
kind,
was, because you just
yeah."
was the right guy. You know, you know, I gotta, let's just have some fun then. The problem with humanity now is we think too much. We think too much. So I was listening to this book, and it was so cool, and it's right, and it was talking about how thoughts is so unlimited. And then when you start thinking about it, it starts limiting everything. And it's
Hmm.
true. Like, like, let's just use this as an example, simple, because everybody thinks about it, right? If a kid plays a sport, you ask the kids who wants to be a professional. Everybody says me, right? So
Yeah.
if you ask them who wants to be rich, everybody says me, until you figure out that you got to do all this work to
Yep.
be rich, or you got to do all this work to be a professional, right? Yeah. So, but if you immediately think, like, yeah, I want to be rich, it's so exciting. Then if you start thinking, oh, but I got to get up early, I gotta meet plenty of people, I gotta do this, and then you start shying away from it.
Yeah.
It's the truth. Your
Yep.
thoughts, because you know why? Your thoughts is exactly what I just told you. The thoughts is just an impulse, just like just being positive. You're not thinking about being positive. You just are.
Yeah.
You're not, you're not thinking about, when you have a thought, it's just energy. And that thought is miraculous. You can have whatever thought. And then when you start to think about it, you ruin it. And it's
Yeah.
so true. So, you know, I think we think too much. We
Yep.
do.
That's true.
We
And
spend
that's
so
fun.
much time thinking. So I know everybody heard this, but hearing it and doing it, okay? Not trying to, but actually
Yeah.
doing it.
Yep.
Just imagine when you get you're sitting in a car, right? And you get the steering wheel, and the steering wheel is turning the car, right? Right? Right. But the steering wheel is, so the steering wheel is the brain. It's just a tool. Okay? It's just a tool. The brain is just a tool, just like the steering wheel. If I don't turn the wheel doesn't turn, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay? So the brain is not you. Everybody thinks that the brain is who we are, what we think. That's who I am. It's not. The brain is just everything you hear on social media, when your parents since you was young, your teachers, everybody. That's all it is. It's just mimicking all those voices. And that's why they say, you might not get it, that the brain is actually the worst leader. Because it's not a leader, it's a servant.
Yeah.
It's like a tool, like the steering wheel. So who's in charge of the brain? Who's in charge of the steering wheel? Me. I'm turning, right?
Yeah.
So it has to be that soul. So when you think, again, let's go back to this. So if you think, you got to think positive, it's fake because it's the brain, it's just the tool. It has to be the soul, the spontaneous. You just are. And you are by just be, my favorite word,
What is that?
being, B-E-I-N-G. It's my favorite word.
That makes sense, bruh. And well, okay, what could you do to change your soul? Like, say if you want to be,
You're gonna change your soul.
so
Your
you're
soul is your
fucked
soul.
if you're a negative soul.
No, because there's no such thing as a negative soul. There's not, see, that's why people always think like, oh, God is not separate from you ever. Because if
Okay.
God is separate from you, you wouldn't be alive. It's so
Okay, that
simple.
makes sense. That makes
It's
sense.
so simple. The only reason why people negative is because you know what?
Their
You know
brain.
what another word for sin is?
What is that?
Lack of love.
Okay.
Just lack of love. So it's just because you have lack of love, or you're not born evil. Babies is not evil.
Yeah.
We get that through our environment. We get that taught by watching. But inherently, your soul is good. That's
Yeah.
why you don't have to think to be positive. You just are.
Okay, that makes sense. I feel you. I did like the what you brought up is like if you wanna be successful, you gotta put in the work. If you wanted to be rich, like you said, it's exciting to say, but when you realize you gotta do the work, then that excitement kind of fades. And I used to tell that to my students, and I tell this to my daughter every single week, bro. I said, everybody like being champion until it's time to do champion shit. Everybody wants to be the best, wants to do this, and this until it's time to do the work to get there. And that's where people fall off. That's where the divide is. And I guess so. Is it people have it, and I can sense that like from certain kids watching my daughter then play volleyball or watching students I had compete. Like some kids for certain things, they just it. They just have that it, and some don't for that particular thing. You know what I mean? But I guess that is their soul. It's not. They're not choosing to not have it. You know what I mean?
Well, that's just some people have a certain talent.
Yeah.
Now, if but the person can work hard at it and become very
That's
good
what I
at it.
meant. That's what
The
that's what I
person with
meant. That
talent
work ethic.
can just
Yeah.
lose it all because it's lazy.
Yep.
So that's what's so awesome. That's why it's so awesome. There's nothing that is just set, like just because you're talented. So many talented people fall out. So much talented people could have been so successful, like my oldest brother, Anthony. Okay?
Yep.
To me, he's the most talented person. For what? Talent for what?
Yep. I agree.
It's you gotta put in the effort.
Yep.
And you
Though.
gotta be, you know, being successful is not sexy. It's consistent.
Yep.
And being consistent is not what people want to hear. Who the heck wants to be consistent? Like, for instance, this is the best one. This is the best one. Everybody can have a good body. Okay? Everybody can, it's what we eat, but we
Yeah.
lazy. We lazy. I literally had a doctor ask me, oh, but what do you get when you go to McDonald's? Because she's asking me about my diet. And I
Yeah.
said, I don't eat at McDonald's.
Yeah.
What food you can never eat?
Yo.
So it's we just it's just about being disciplined. But who wants to be disciplined? They literally asked me, "Oh, but what about when you go to eat this place? What about good?" I said, "What about it?" I just tell them, "This is what I want to eat." You just have to be disciplined.
Yep.
If you
That's
got the discipline to eat good, then what you get the discipline for?
yep.
Because
And that
because junk food is cheap, okay? But
yeah.
junk food is everywhere, okay? You just lazy.
Yep.
You just not like choose to eat good food. You just lazy.
Yep.
That's it.
I agree, and I think that's one of the reasons why I did the Spartan race and to also start this diet because I feel like I haven't tested my discipline as much as I like to. I want to try and test it again because it's something I always had. I always had discipline, especially when I was competing, and always had that work ethic. But I never had something to choose to make myself disciplined for. And doing this is kind of exciting for me.
But on the defense for people who choose not to be disciplined and eat right, who cares? If they don't want to and they want to eat whatever they want to eat, because they always say that too. Oh yeah, but I want to be happy. Then do it. Do
Yep,
whatever you feel like you want to do. There is no
exactly.
certain way. If I choose to be disciplined and I choose to eat a certain way, that's me. If you don't, hey, awesome. Because you can do whatever you like.
Yep, that's true. I know what I wanted to tell you, and it was something we recently shared together. Was I wanted to thank you for when we were watching Alika's team and his son play soccer, for you to explain half of the stuff that was going on because we
You
recently got
guys,
to watch,
you guys was
bro.
the funnest to watch a game with. Uh, you guys, I want to watch more games with you guys. You guys made it
Bro,
more fun.
I had a blast. I just was so confused with a lot of this. I cannot believe they went stop the game, and then the ref would put the ball like 10 feet in front of the goal and say, "Okay, go kick him." I was like, "How the hell can that be part of the game? Like who? Like that's not even skill, bro."
No, it's exactly like playing basketball. If you're going up for the shot and they foul you, then you go to the free throw line and you shoot two free shots.
Yeah, but that was when they're playing when they scoring points every other second. Soccer, you can go the whole the whole halftime and then
Yes.
even score one goal.
No, a very this agent from Germany, he explained it to me, and it's so cool. And America just doesn't get it. He says it. It's very cool. It's true. He said what people in America need to understand is that football, which America calls it soccer,
Yeah.
it's a very low scoring game. Why do you think when
Yeah.
they score, they all go nuts?
Oh yeah.
They
We
won the
was.
lottery.
Yeah.
So it's a low scoring game. You can dominate possession pretty much like for the game is 90 minutes, right? For like
Yeah.
89 minutes. And in the 90th minute, they can take the ball and score and you lose the game.
Yeah. Yep.
It can happen. That's what they don't understand. And it's a player's game. It's a
Yeah.
player's game. It's not like American football where you get the coaches up watching the defense and calling plays and they're dictating how everything goes.
Yeah.
In
Yep.
in soccer, the coaches can only give you the formation and the players is making split second decisions. Back to decisions, we talked about it.
Yeah.
Decision making is in the highest levels. And even I'm not talking about just sports, in life, it's all decision making, you know?
Yep.
It's decision making. What person you decide to get married to, okay?
Yeah.
That's a big one. It's
Oh
a
yeah. It's the
big
second
one.
time I'm doing
It-
it.
It's huge. It's
Yeah.
huge. And decision making in everything, it's decision making is, I think they should stress that in school more than anything. It's our life is compromised of all decision making. Your decision that you make gonna bring you the type of experience that you're gonna have. You're gonna have a bad experience because you made a bad decision, or you're gonna have a great experience because you made a hard decision that turned out great.
Yeah.
The simple decisions might turn out horrible. So it's decision making. Everything is decision making.
Well, with soccer, I could see that a lot more too
More
because
life. It's
yeah.
decision making in life.
Oh
Period.
yeah, I get that, but like I'm talking about soccer, and I'm because I haven't. I mean, I played soccer when I was a little kid. It wasn't like that at that level, and because your son plays at such a higher level, it was cool for you to be with us to break down the game. Of course, our little crew was over there like doing our thing and making it weird, and it's just we didn't know the game as well as you did. So I was thankful that you watched it with us so that you could break it down. And you were truthful about it. It's like, oh, if this happens, I game Paul. If that guy does this, they game Paul. And I'm like, oh, you're not good. Like you're just being real. And it was cool to know that you were so knowledgeable of the game and why you're so knowledgeable of the game because of your son. And like what is he's not even what is he even doing? Like he's on like some kind of professional development for soccer. Like what is he's in the main living in the mainland to be groomed to get to the next level in soccer when he I
I
don't
know.
know how to explain it.
That's cute that you ask. It's because it's true. Like if I wasn't living it, what the heck, right?
Yeah,
I
you
know.
didn't a bit. Yeah. Me and you
Yeah,
never watched soccer before our kids was born, I tell you
yeah.
that.
So American football doesn't have it. So it's all you basically soccer is football. It's really football, okay? Because it's the largest sport in the entire world by far. By far.
Yep.
And so we are now in America kind of following the European way. So you get Chelsea, you get Liverpool. That's like New England Patriots, and
Yeah.
Kansas City, the biggest team, right? And but in European football, you have your professional teams have what is called an academy, where they recruit kids, like top level kids, into the academy, and they groom them to be professionals. So, they're that's like a whole nother level. So that's what he's doing. He's basically at, you heard of MLS, the Major League Soccer?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's like LA Galaxy, Los Angeles Football Club, Inter Miami with Lionel Messi. So he's signed to Houston Dynamo, and he's in their academy. So
Oh,
he's signed to Houston Dynamo in Houston, Texas, and he's basically training to be a pro.
that's crazy. So
Crazy.
so it's so when he gets of age, then that team can sign him to the major league team. Like they get first rights. They don't have like a draft or anything like that.
No, no. So actually, you can be given a pro contract at 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, as young
Oh
as 14
wow.
years old. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And you can play on like the major league
So
team?
yes, they call it a homegrown. So basically, you're in the academy, and it's kind of like, man, how can you explain it? It's so crazy. You basically you go to you play on this team. You don't pay. You know how people pay for being
Yeah, yeah,
volleyball.
yeah. Yeah.
So you don't pay anything. Um,
Okay.
they get provided the uniforms, the cleats. They travel with the team, so mom and dad don't even travel with them. They stay in the hotel with the team. They fly on the airplane with the team,
Oh,
and
wow.
they're basically living like as little pros, and they're but
Pretty much.
they also gotta develop, and if not, they can get cut. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
pressure too. There's a lot of pressure, you know, and yeah, it's just like
How
anything.
how is your son handle the pressure? Like does it get to him, or it's just he's just not even he's just on that level where this is what I'm doing.
I think that it's about this is what I'm doing. Like he's very he doesn't really talk a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't really talk a lot. And as far as pressure, um, he just puts it into his practice. He just practices a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. It's definitely interesting. You know, coming from Hawaii, being all the way in Houston, Texas, and he doesn't miss. I ask him all the time if he wants to come home, and he always tells me no.
So I'm living he's living his dream already.
He is living his dream. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And you know, I tell him too, yeah. I think it's important for us as parents, and for ourselves is you set a goal. Okay, this is a gem right here. This whoever wants to take this is a big gem. This is worth a lot. You set a goal, okay, to be a professional athlete or to be very successful, whatever the case may be, whatever you decide you want to do. And that's just the goal. What we do is we feel that we have to accomplish this goal in order to be happy. Wrong, wrong. The goal is just the direction. Like saying, let's go to Kaneohe. Okay?
Yeah.
The true gem, the true value of life is us jumping in the car together and having fun driving to Kaneohe.
The journey.
Being together, the journey.
Yeah.
Being
Yeah.
together, joking, stopping to get something to eat, stop to go to the beach,
Yeah.
laugh, play a fight, whatever the case, right?
Yeah.
That's the reward. The reward is life, the living.
That
The
makes
goal
sense.
is just the direction. But we think, because of society, that the goal is the
The
reward.
happiness.
And if we don't get that goal, we like we don't want to live. We we go into drugs or we become depressed, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's important for us. I always gonna say this: you cannot expect your kid to be on champion unless you on champion. Period.
Yeah.
I see people. No offense, people might get mad, but let themselves go beyond overweight and yelling at their kids to be like all that, right? Like you, you let your kid be on champion. You should be on champion.
Yeah.
That's how that's how I feel. Nobody has to agree with it.
That makes sense.
I
I
mean,
got a
by
question.
example, lead by example.
Yep. That's I always believe in that leave by example.
So if you can teach your kids from an early age, I'm telling you, you can save them from depression. So I always share with Echo and Uriah that the goal is just the direction. Okay, that's all it is. The reward is the opportunity to move to in that direction. You know, the
That
fact
makes
that
sense.
he's from Hawaii, he moved to Arizona when he was 11, and now he's 14. He's playing at Houston Dynamo. Um, you know who Brian Ching is from Kamehameha High
Yeah.
School?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a Houston Dynamo legend. He's from Hawaii.
Yep. That's
Um,
Alika's teammate. Yeah.
yes, and he
Yeah.
still lives in Houston. But the goal is just the direction. It's important for us and for us to teach our kids that. The reward is the daily grind. The daily grind is our reward. That's us living.
That's pretty cool.
It's the truth.
I wanted to ask
And that's
you.
how you come, and that's how you be happy.
Yeah.
Because look, we're gonna be living in our mind again. you want to be a pro, but you're not there yet, so you're not happy. You see? You're
Yeah.
thinking that. You're thinking. But if you just in the doing, like I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna practice, and when I'm not practicing, I'm gonna eat good, and then I'm gonna practice again, and you in that doing, you're gonna be good
Yep.
because you're not thinking.
And
You
you be
do.
happy.
That's the
I
gem.
wanna ask you, when you're watching your son play soccer as a dad, how are you on the sidelines? You lose it, you freaking screaming, or you just quietly cheering him on? Like, how are you?
That is a great question for you because I know you're thinking the same thing. It's it's a learning process. Okay,
Yeah.
it's a learning process, and and of course we like to we expect them, but at the same point, I never played the game,
Yeah.
and I don't even know how to. So
Yep.
I think it's important that it's more we can now we just watch. We
Yep.
don't use anything, and we can always like ask questions or the only thing that I truly can share with my son because he's so much beyond me. I mean, as an athlete, as intelligent too,
Yeah.
is is giving your 100%, right? Like
Yeah.
that's all. As far as everything else, like that's beyond me. So all we can share is about giving you 100%. But
That's
at the same
awesome.
point, at the same point, you got to remember now, the game that he played is not like baseball, football, where the offense come in, the defense sit down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Soccer, they run miles in
Oh
one game.
yeah. All
They're
day.
constantly
Yeah.
moving. So you get us parents out there yelling at our kids, like, come on, go out there, go out there
Try go.
yourself and run. Okay? And tell me you're
Yeah.
gonna run 100% all the time. And like running 100% is dumb all the time too. Like you gotta be smart. So you start to learn. I think the best thing that we can do as parents is learn and watch and support our kids because parents yelling at the kids make the kids not enjoy the game,
Yeah.
especially because we don't even know unless you play it at a very high level yourself. What we yelling,
Yep.
and
That's
then
the
what you're
exact.
yelling might be completely opposite from what the coach told you to do,
Yep.
right?
So funny, bro. I always tell that to my daughter. I say, "You lucky I don't know how to play volleyball. You lucky this wasn't my sport, because then I would try be more involved and more. I'd probably be coaching. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's lucky you picked a sport that I have no clue about it. The ball hit the ground. That's all I know. Keep the ball from hitting the ground on your side. Put the ball on the ground on that side. Other than that, but like you said, I can direct her in the work ethic because that
Right,
doesn't change.
right.
But I you know me, I get riled up, bro. Especially like if the ref doesn't bad call or something. I cannot. But I've learned to positively support versus like, what you doing? Do that. It's like, oh, no worry, get it back next one. You know what I mean? Like it becomes different. And I see the competitiveness that my daughter has is the same mindset that I have, and we both noticed Alika's son. When Alika's son lost in the championship game, he sat down in the middle of the field. He didn't want nobody around him. He was upset, and he wanted to dig out. Like get his lays. He never like talk to anybody. And I was thinking to myself, like, bro, that's the same shit I would have done. And you said it. You like, bro, that's good. That means it mattered to him. It,
Mhm.
he's like, I'd be the same way. Like,
He cared. Yeah, yeah.
and he's feeling it, bro. I like
Yes,
that fact that you feel that. You feel the hurt. You feel
right.
the happiness, but you also feel the hurt because that's what's going to teach you. But to be so like it mattered so much to that
But at
kid.
the same point, they won. Speaking of Alika's son, they won the OIA tournament. They
Yeah.
won that title. They may have lost the state, but it's important again. for our kids to understand winning and losing.
Yes. That's what, and
Okay?
that's what I keep telling like some of
You
the
gotta
parents is like,
win and
oh,
you gotta lose.
yes.
Like,
And you it's cool to not be okay with losing. Fuck
right?
that. I don't like that theory. Oh, it's how you play the game. Yeah, like fuck all that. It matters to you that much that losing hurts. That means you're passionate about that. And it's supposed to hurt. I don't like losing. I never did. I don't like even losing to my daughter playing freaking friends trivia. I ain't gonna like it's just to have that in today's society where it's okay, which I don't agree with. I mean, you can take the loss, learn from it, feel it, and get better from it, but don't be like, okay, we lost, it's all right. It's all right. No, you gotta feel that hurt because that's what changes you. That's what makes you a better person, stronger player, everything, bro. That hurt is when you feel it. You have to feel that.
Bro,
Yep. That's how you
that's
grow. Exactly. That's how you grow. And it was so funny. I was thinking, watching the kid walk out there and not want his lays, and the mother be like, I gotta get him. And I was thinking, like, bruh, I would be the same way. I fuck all these lays. I don't care about anybody who's here to see, like, you know what I mean? Like, we just lost the championship game. And then you're like, yeah, I'll be the same way. I don't like, I wouldn't want to get late. And I was you said exactly what I was thinking. And I was like, wow, I'm glad you said, and I told Alika, I was like, bro, that is the mindset you showed your kid, like that it matters that much. You're not doing this for just to be on the field and playing soccer. You're doing this for win on championship. And when you didn't, it gotta hurt and you gotta grow from it. But you don't have to be cool with losing, bro. I've never agreed with that. You don't need to be a sore loser and be a little fucking asshole, but like you don't have to be cool with losing, bro. I never agreed with that. I'm the sorest loser.
I know that.
Yeah. That's why I don't do it often. You know what I mean? I don't lose often. But
Yeah, Uriah gets, oh man, he gets.
exactly the same thing, bro. When he
he-
wins, bro, it is glorious too, bro. Like he is. I seen
I,
him
I I
win, bro.
I want him to win just so that the car ride home is much better.
It's that same, bro. I hate trying to like give him the life lesson speech after. I like though. Let's go get ice cream. You just won.
Well, I don't
That's
know.
so funny.
You don't have this feeling yet, but it's very interesting when you stand next to your kids and they're much bigger than you are.
Oh yeah, Ari ain't gonna be bigger than me.
An interesting, it's an interesting feeling.
Yeah. But watching Uriah play volleyball, I was like every chance I get, I'm gonna watch him. Like if it's same tournament, because I love his energy and his like he's passionate about it, and his will to win is like that's all he's trying to
He
do.
gets, he fires up his whole team.
That's what I was gonna say. He's a leader, bro. He
Yeah.
fires up his team, and same like Arya. They try to get every single person to that level, and when they're not at that level, they're pushing them to get there. And it's cool to see, bro. And it was like that one tournament when we seen you guys, and I got to watch him play, and you got to watch Arya play, and we got to take pictures, and for me it was a full circle moment. Like Arya was born a few
Just like
months
a moment that
before.
we're getting old and our kids are getting big.
Oh yeah, cause bro, yeah, watch like that picture with Uriah and Arya was just weird because we have pictures of them when they were like not even one.
You know,
And they're like athletes and doing shit and in high school, and
circle
it's
of
like
life, circle of life.
ah, and it feels like a blink of an eye. Didn't seem
It
that
is.
long ago.
Because what did I just tell you? There's no such
No,
thing as time. There's people can't wrap their head around it. It's the
yeah,
same day that you were born. It's the same
makes
day.
sense.
It's one big eternal moment. All because you know why? I was listening to this another. I you ever heard of a guy named Alan Watts?
I never.
I would encourage you to go onto YouTube, look up Alan Watts, put in your headset, and just listen to him speak as you fall asleep. Amazing. Amazing.
Okay.
But time is not a straight line, that's why. It's all layers on top of each other. It's all
Yeah.
happening at the same time. Okay? We're thinking in a straight line. It's all happening at the same time. There's
Yep.
no.
Because there's moments somewhere else on this planet that's in the same moment as us, but it's totally different. Yep.
It's phenomenal.
Well, man, we've been going for over an hour, and this episode could probably be a 5 hour long conversation that I'll have with you. And I just wanted to talk story with you, bro. I didn't have no agenda, like fucking. I didn't have no um set format of what I wanted to talk to you about. I just wanted to talk to you, and I feel like I draw a lot of inspiration from my friends and people that are close to me. And I feel like you influence my life in so many different ways just from our conversations and by the person you are and the actions you show in life. Like,
No, you just because you know I was a bad drunk and I was able to bounce back from that.
bruh, you're one of the few people that I know that could do that though. But even prior to that, like
No, I told you this, Dad. The, I don't, and this is the truth. I want to say this to you. So my whole life, I've been like always wanting to do more and do more and do more. And at that time, I said, I don't want to do anything. I just like to party and have a great time and be a loser and not worry about any responsibilities. Don't even pay any bills and just be a loser that has fun. I chose it. I chose it. And I did it. And at a certain point, I said, being a loser is kind of boring.
yeah.
It's time for it's time. I did it. And I mean, it was what it was, but it's kind of boring and it's time for me to get busy. And I just snap out of it.
You did.
Yeah.
Immediate, like it was a light switch kind. And it was cool to see. It wasn't like it was hard to describe because you always was that same energy and then you just had like a dark cloud around it and you just got rid of the cloud and a lot of people can't and like
That's
you
with
was pretty wild, bro. You was pretty
with Darth
wild.
Vader came in.
Yeah, you was pretty wild and a lot had to do with your relationship with Shan starting to grow and like you just wanted to be better and I was front row seats, bro. I seen Bolt and I seen the switch and I seen you at your worst and I've
Yeah.
I've seen you at your best. I remember Frankie had to hide the alcohol from his house. Bro. We just get me something to drink. Was after the BJ Penn fight. I remember we was at and bruh, like to where you are now, a lot of a lot of people don't have that mental strength to, like you said, snap out of it. But
And it took me a while to understand that and be empathetic to that um it really did. And that's what makes me be more aware that not everybody. I don't know if they don't have it, but I can't say. See, I can't say.
yeah,
It's a decision that you have to make. The one thing that I tell my kids is don't tell me I'm trying. I hate that word. That's
yeah,
bullshit.
yeah,
Okay? You either gonna do or you're not gonna do.
yeah. That's
Trying
Yoda.
is an excuse.
Yep,
You either gonna do something or you're not gonna do them. And
yep,
it's gonna be easier if you just say, you know what? I lazy and I like do them. Okay,
yeah,
cool. Instead of pretending and being all sad and being the victim, because it takes a lot of energy to do something. It does. And
yeah.
again, it doesn't make you're not better than anybody if you rise to the occasion. And if you don't rise to the occasion, you're not. There's no you're better or
You
you
just
are
you be better for your own self,
yourself. It's up
and
for your own
that's
self. Yeah.
yeah.
And it's
But
better for us to not judge. other people and just, you know,
Well, I never did judge you. I was shocked by you many times, but I was like, oh fuck. But y'all, like I said, you had that it
you gotta be
factor
on
in your
loser.
eyes.
You gotta be on loser so you can understand what it is to be on champion.
Oh, great, because
Listen,
I was on loser a couple times. I fucking what is it? To be old and wise, you gotta be young and crazy. So
young and dumb.
we handled the young and crazy. Now we can bask in the old and wise portion of our life.
You know the saying, young, dumb, and full of cum.
Yep, and we was that, and we had, had the we had the opportunity to have some fun. Yeah, but I think watching you through all of that and through everything, bro, like you're somebody I always look up to and somebody that um conversations matter. And like today, just what you were talking today, like when I edit this, there I'm gonna be writing stuff down because I already know how I can implement a lot of those things into my life. And that's why I wanted to have this conversation with you. We don't need to worry about your phone ringing or like people calling or like I get text messages or all that. It was a one-on-one uninterrupted conversation with you that for me gonna matter. And honestly, like what if our kids watch this video when we're gone and can hear you talking about what we just talked about? Like it could help change them and they can hear their parents talking and they can hear their parents mindset. And that's one of the reasons why I even do this podcast because of that. And bruh,
Yeah,
the
you know what?
energy
That's
you
a good
have.
idea. You're gonna have a
Yep.
lot of stuff for your daughter to watch.
Yep. And she'll get to know her dad not as a dad, but as someone having conversations with other people. Yep.
Well, I wanted to, but I did it. I didn't act on it. And I'm not showing, but I always thought about doing a segment called The Right Advice from Mr. Yurong.
Do it, bro.
Nah, you know, we'll see. Right now, I'm kind of in that phase, like, you gotta admit, you're totally enjoying watching Aria, yeah,
Oh,
grow.
big time.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
Yep.
It's like
Yep.
I'm out of that stage, when we're growing into that next phase of our lives.
Yep.
Frank says it best. We're on the back nine. When you go
Oh
on
yeah.
we're on the
We
back
definitely on the
nine.
back nine.
But it's not a bad thing. Like you
Nope.
said, how you said you want to be young. I've embraced that
Yeah.
I'm older now, and
Yeah.
I get to watch my kids, and I'm enjoying that. I'm
Yeah.
enjoying that. I really am.
I totally agree. I just had someone ask me a couple days ago, and he does jujitsu, and he's like, "Hey, Thad, you should come do jujitsu." And I told him, you know what? I know how I am, and I know how selfish I get when I get into something like that and get passionate about it. And right now in my life, it's not about that. It's about me helping my daughter get her passion and supporting her and giving her the opportunities. Not
Sounds like
not anything
you
for me.
sounds like you making some good decisions.
Yeah.
We
Yep.
just talked about that, about
Yep.
how he would have never been able to make the iPhone if he took the wrong projects.
Yep.
Smart. Because if you get so into something, you might
Yep.
be missing that of Aria. And we only have a couple more years left.
Yes. I was just thinking about that too. I was like, oh, couple more years, are you gonna be in college?
Yep.
She already told me from at an early age that she like go mainland for college. So in 3 years,
But you
she's
see
not
how
gonna be home every
important
day.
that is. I
Yep.
think if there's anything from this segment that, like, for me, that I would love to pass to Aria or my sons, is that decision making is so important. Like, it is it's so important, and also about not trying to be positive, not trying to, I mean, think positive, but you just are. And when you down, you're not positive. You down. It's all good.
Yep.
Yeah. Just be.
You gotta have the balance. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Right
be.
on, bro.
I love you, man. And I
Love you
appreciate
too.
you, bro. I appreciate you for taking time out, and I appreciate you for seeing something in me all the way back then, and also for being my friend, bro.
Because you're amazing.
So are you, man. Love you, brother.
Love you, Thad.
Shakas for the cameras. We're out, and shout out to the Artist Group Network. Aloha.
Aloha.